It just got serious for the Edmonton Oilers following a big divisional win last night against the San Jose Sharks, but may have suffered another big loss. And the Oilers have had too many of those on injured reserve lately. All that more today on Oilers Digest as we recap last night's win over the San Jose Sharks. But before that, if you haven't subscribed already, make sure you do so. We are on the road to 2,900 subscribers, of course, 49 away to be exact, on the road to 3,000. So hopefully you can help us by getting to 3,000 before the end of the Stanley Cup playoffs. But without further ado, folks, a win, but at what cost? Yes, the Oilers rolled into San Jose, California last night to take on the Sharks. And of course, the Sharks, yesterday's episode mentioned, they weren't a very good team. Analytics weren't loving them at all, but of course, they can be a very tough team. They are an NHL team after all. It's not like they're a junior or a minor league team, but the Oilers 3-2 win in regulation time over the Sharks. Their third straight 3-2 win, of course, getting the same win, same types of wins against the Calgary Flames in the Vegas Golden Knights. Taking a look at the scoring summary here, Jeff Skinner finding Connor Brown with a beautiful pass there. Brown all alone, making it 1-0 Oilers before Jack Thompson beats Cal Pickard clean there from Alex Wenberg and Mario Ferraro. But Victor Arvidsson, his third straight goal in as many games there on the power play. Just a rocket from Leon Draisaitl before Tyler Toffoli tied it up at 228th of the year. Of course, the veteran presence of Tyler Toffoli. One of the shining spots on the San Jose Sharks this year before Jeff Skinner got the eventual game winner there from Evan Bouchard and Matthias Janmark. There was a bit of a double deflection there. Bouchard found a way, the puck found a way through all that traffic there in front of Romanov that started in net for the Sharks last night, making it 3-2 Oilers, and the Oilers locked it down in the third period. Shots on goal 38-29, so the Oilers all over San Jose last night. 17-15 hits. The Oilers dominating on the dot last night, 36-27, going 1 for 2 on their power play. Meanwhile, San Jose going 0 for 1 on their only man advantage. So the Oilers all over the score sheet on the Sharks last night. But again, only winning by a goal. But I mean, a win's a win, folks, in this time of the season with the types of opponents that they are up against at this crucial points. Just you take your points. But for the hockey stat chart here, I mean, that line of Jeff Skinner, Connor Brown, and Matthias Janmark, just phenomenal last night. Of course, many ragged on Matthias Janmark, myself included, but they found themselves to be a very formidable third line for the Edmonton Oilers alongside Brett Kulak, one of the best Oilers on the ice last night. Of course, he's had his rough stretches of games, but him and Darnell Nurse were among the two best Oiler defensemen last night. With Evan Bouchard too, sure had a had a rough go at it at some points of the game, but still showing what kind of defenseman that he will be later on in his career. Something that the Oilers hopefully will lock up this summer. But just going up and down the rest of the lineup here, nobody really had a bad game. Same thing as the Vegas and Calgary games. Nobody really had a bad game. Just very quiet. If they weren't doing anything monumental there, of course, Adam Henrique, bit of a quiet game. Max Jones only played 9 minutes there. Analytics loved him, but again, had 5 hits and just didn't really do a whole lot else there. Of course, the shiny toy effect on Max Jones kind of wore off there after the trade deadline. Of course, when Trent Frederick comes into the lineup, I do believe Max Jones will be the one coming out. But again, that Skinner, Janmark, and Brown line, analytically in the eye test, they both passed there. I mean, 17-5. Corsi outshooting the Sharks on the ice 11-2, outscoring them 2-0 there on the ice. So lots of things to be happy about there. Of course, all three stepping up with no McDavid and for a good chunk. No Draisaitl. We'll get into that in a second, folks. Don't you worry. But again, Jeff Skinner and Connor Brown, just that line was phenomenal. Not just the line, but individually as well. Jeff Skinner topping out the analytic chart here on hockey, on Natural Stat Trick, will you? But again, not a whole lot to complain about last night. Sure, it was a close game, but Cal Pickard held them in there, and nothing really to complain about after that one. I mean, the depth is stepping up in lieu of no star power. But Jeff Skinner, he's happy with the way the team is going despite, the adversity that they have to overcome. Obviously, we've had some injuries to key guys. I think it's a lot of opportunity for other guys to step up, and I think guys have done a good job so far. We're going to need to continue that and keep working together to get the results that we want. In the line, of course, with him in Yamark and Connor Brown, just phenomenal. I think in the last little, well, I felt pretty good with my game and clicking a little bit better with my line mates than maybe earlier in the season. For myself, I think when you click as a line, you can play a little bit more on instinct, and tonight's probably an example of that with Yanni and Brownie. Of course, two defensively responsible forwards. I mean, that is the yin to Jeff Skinner's yang. Phenomenal fit. I thought they played great, and I'm always trying to read off them, and they're always in the right spots and making good plays. It was fun to play with them tonight, but of course, we have to give our nod to Cal Pickard here. 9:31, holding the fort down with no Stuart Skinner between the pipes for the Oilers. 27 saves. Again, some key stops in the third period to keep the Sharks at bay, much like the Knights game, where, of course, the Knights were all over Edmonton, and Cal Pickard said, relax, I have this, everybody, I have this. And he had the Oilers last night. Of course, a third straight win for Cal Pickard in net, all by a score of 3-2. So, I mean, that is what you love to see, just W's in a row. And Connor Brown, happy with the way Cal Pickard is in net. Not just Cal Pickard, but the other guys that are stepping up. He's a rock for us. He competes hard. He deserved that win tonight, and obviously, I don't think we should be giving up those kinds of opportunities late in the game, but he was there to bail us out again. Sometimes when guys go down, other guys get to step up, and with a big playoff coming up, it's good for guys to get some extra minutes and some reps. So who knows? Maybe it's a good thing as long as those guys are okay, which I'm sure they will be. And we're getting to it, folks. Leon Draisaitl, 1 assist, -1 shot on goal, but only played 10 minutes in 4 seconds. Late in the second period, I do believe there was 10 minutes left in the second period, he took a bit of a tumble behind the Oiler net there, stepping on the puck there and just awkwardly falling to the ice. And of course, he tried to play later in that shift. Took a hit from Colin Graff of the San Jose Sharks, I do believe, and just, bent down, harboring something, heading back to the Oiler bench and heading back to the locker room. He was doubtful to return, and then he was, downgraded to out. So, yikes. I mean, he just came back from whatever he was ailing before. Had a phenomenal performance there against the Calgary Flames and the Vegas Golden Knights. And then for this to happen, just that's exactly the last thing the Oilers needed when everyone was looking like they were, coming back, ready to return. Of course, Trent Frederick will be the first one to return, or he was before Leon Draisaitl went out. But Frederick, we should see him on Monday against the Ducks, and then McDavid later on after that. But still, no update here for Leon Draisaitl from Kris Knoblauch. Said, no, I don't have an update. I haven't seen our training staff yet. You never want to miss those guys. You never want your top players not to play, because every time they're in, it decreases your chance of winning because they're good players. Wow, what a quote here from Kris Knoblauch. Great coach. What a way with words that he has. What happens is other guys have some opportunities to play, get some confidence, hopefully score some goals, because we're going to need them. And then that is exactly what they need at this point of the season. Of course, with all these injuries, and it just so happens their next game is against a team that they probably will face in the first round of the playoffs. Not only that, but they have to still determine who is getting home ice advantage. But for the Oilers, without Draisaitl or McDavid here, you can see the stat lines of all the players who did record a point when those two were not in the lineup there. You can see Ryan Nugent-Hopkins stepped up to the moment. Adam Henrique, Zach Hyman, of course, Matisse Ekholm, but he is not on the road trip here with the Oilers. Bouchard, Perry, Nurse, Wallman, Skinner, Brown in captain. You need all of these guys. You don't need some of these guys. You need all of these guys to step up with the way the Oilers are at this point of the season there, especially from the veteran presence there of Nugent-Hopkins, Henrique, in Corey Perry. So I have no worries that they won't get it done. But of course, the Kings are phenomenal at home. I think they've only lost maybe 4 or 5 times in regulation at home. So for the Oilers to get the job done, they will need possibly the best performances of the season out of all those guys that I just listed. But again, I still have faith in them. But with the Oilers at present time, this was about a 1 hour ago from Jim Matheson. At present time, the Oilers have not called up a forward from Bakersfield with Draisaitl's injury situation. Of course, with no healthy forwards, the Oilers would be subjected to an emergency recall, but they haven't recalled anybody, not that I've seen recently. Derek Ryan would probably be the forward that they would have to call up, but again, nothing that I've seen recently. That could always change this afternoon. The Oilers only have 12 healthy forwards on the road trip with the game in LA Saturday afternoon. But the Bakersfield Condors playing Tucson Saturday and at home to Utah's Farm Club Sunday in scramble for the last playoff spot. So lots of juggling to be seen with both teams in the Oilers organization. But what is next for the Edmonton Oilers is they're going down the Pacific Coast Highway. Yes, San Jose last night in. They will be in LA tomorrow night, or tomorrow afternoon, I should say. It's an afternoon game, folks, in LA. I know it's quite weird, but we already saw one of those earlier in December. But the Oilers in Kings, 3 o'clock Central, 2 o'clock Mountain there, and you'll have the rest of your day after this one. Will you be happy? Will you be mad? We have no idea yet. But Oilers, Kings in a first round preview at the Crypto.com Arena, which is just a weird arena name. But of course, the Kings beating the Utah Hockey Club last night, so the Oilers still 2 points behind LA as they're trying to also chase Vegas, as the Pacific has not been locked up yet in tomorrow's game. It's everything but the marbles here. Winner will probably get the first round home ice advantage there. So always a big one. You can see there, LA 24-4 at home, but a losing record on the road, which is quite weird. So maybe they mastered the key to line matching at home. So hopefully the Oilers can get that one done, and it should be always an interesting one. Oilers Kings. The Kings' boring styles never seem to get the Oilers down in any of their playoff matchups. So hopefully the Oilers can crack that code yet again, with potentially no Leon Draisaitl. Of course, Trent Frederick probably won't make his Oiler debut tomorrow afternoon. It will probably be against the Anaheim Ducks tomorrow, so who knows what the Oilers will do. Will Draisaitl, push through whatever he's ailing with? Of course, speculation is, no help to us at this point. It could be anything, but the Oilers, I think they will find a way to get it done. I've been pessimistic for a good chunk of the year, but, the Oilers, they always seem to surprise us when the going gets tough. But that is it for today's video, folks. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments regarding last night's game, and are you worried about Draisaitl? I'm not. I mean, it's Leon Draisaitl. He's played through far, far worse than whatever he probably has right now. But if you haven't already subscribed, make sure you do so. And, folks, have a great rest of your Friday. Take care. I'm Matt.